Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to Living Large Las Vegas. My name is Kobe Sherlock, and today, back in the lab, Mr. Derek Parent. Derek, say hello to everybody.
Hello, hello.
Guys, today we're bringing you a very special guest with an incredible vision and really taking some great action for our community right now. We're going to speak a little bit about an amazing movement. Before any further ado, Mr. Kelley Jones. He is the principal of Kelley Jones Hospitality. Kelley, say hello to everybody.
How's everyone today?
Man, Kelley, so, just want to dive right in. If you can share a little bit about yourself and your background for the listeners.
I moved to Las Vegas in 1998, kicking and screaming, saying I'd come here for a year to open Mandalay Bay and then move back to New York. Well, that didn't happen. I came here. I stayed 5 years. I left 4, and I moved back in 2007 as president of the Light Group. And went out on my own in 2008. Been living here for 18 of the last 22 years.
That's incredible. For me, I've only been here about almost 4 years. Derek, you've been here how long?
20
years. So it's a pretty good group. I mean, Vegas has been home for us, and it's an incredible home. And I think that's really what we're, really want to get to here. You want to tell us a little bit about what you've been up to for Las Vegas during this time?
Yeah. So, like everybody, and 9/11, anything tragic that happens, you never forget where you are. But I had 15 businesses across 8 different states, so I traveled a lot. In fact, January, February, I had already amassed 23,000 miles in the air. I got off the plane on February 27th. Haven't been on a plane since. But the 16th of March, I ended up shutting down 12 of the 15 properties I have. Restaurants, bars, lounges, hotel, food, and beverage operations around the country. Had to lay off almost 300 people. So that was pretty painful. On the 17th, word came out that a new group, Hope for the City, was looking for volunteers at pop-up food pantries all over the valley. So on the 18th, which will be 8 weeks tomorrow, been out 4 to 5 days a week working these food pantries for Hope for the City. Great group of people that are putting themselves in harm's way, and it's kind of like 9/11, you don't run from the towers, you run into the towers, and we're out there and we're feeding people. And, it was interesting because the first couple of weeks of being out there, everybody was really scared because nobody knew anything about it and what was happening. And I think, now people are used to, the sheltering in place and quarantining. And but what's happening is it's growing longer and longer. We're now in our 8th week of these food pantries. Hope for the City is out 6 days a week. The only days they're not out is Monday. So these food pantries exist to give, not only food, but also, some hope and some happiness to, come in and feed yourself and your family. And obviously, as this goes longer, I see the need probably another 6 to 8 months of this happening. So, just some crazy things that you see out there. At Palace Station a couple of weeks ago, the line snaked around the entire casino and then snaked down Sahara all the way to Fort Apache. The police had to turn all the lights at the intersections into blinking red lights because 4.5 mile long line, people were coming in on side streets and jumping into the back of the line when the lights were turning green. As they were coming, onto Sahara. So, fights were breaking out. It was bananas. So the police had to do that. Sunset Station, we thought we'd set a record 3 weeks ago when we did over 1,000 cars and 1,000 families that we fed until last week when we did 1,200. We did 1,201 exact. So we know all the statistics because we're required by the Department of Agriculture at each, car that pulls up, we have to get their name, their phone number, their zip code, and how many people are in their family that they're feeding. So that's how we get all the stats. And, to date, we've handed out over 3 million pounds of food. We've fed over 50,000 families, and, that equates to about, just over 250,000 people. So it's crazy. So, Kobe, as you're working with us hard on, producing Night of Hope with this Saturday night at 7 o'clock. Something that I've never seen done in my career, where all 4 networks are going to simulcast our benefit concert. And we've got, a lot of great acts and talent from the Las Vegas Valley representing Las Vegas, national talent. And it's a big fundraiser. Our goal is $6 million to raise because that's how much it's going to take to continue to feed the city for the next 6 to 8 months.
Man, first of all, I just want to say, both from being able to work alongside you guys over the last couple of weeks to strategize and fundraise and support, but it's really an honor to be, doing this alongside of you and the initiative you took. I know watching these videos, it's definitely not easy, what we're up to and what you guys are up to on the ground. So I just want to, tell you, thank you for everything you're doing for everybody here in the city and everybody at Central and with Hope for the City that's supporting. What inspired you to get out there?
Well, first of all, you don't go from 100 miles an hour in your work life to sitting at home. So that certainly was one reason. But really, it's, Vegas is just an amazing city. It's so philanthropic. Central Church certainly is my home. But, when they ask, the answer is yes. What's the question? And so getting out there with, a lot of the same people that we're seeing, every week at these same pantries, working them, we become quite a fun little family, getting out there and looking forward. Oh, wow, Wednesday, I'm going to go see this person at sunset. Oh, wow, Thursday, I'm going to go see this person, at Silvestri or wherever, I am. I'm at the same places, typically each week for the 4 or 5 days. And then, Central is the only food pantry in town on Saturdays and Sundays. So, they start 8 o'clock in the morning, Saturdays and Sundays. And, the lines are doubling. The need's going to be even greater as we go. So, it's really humbling and, honorable to be able to do this because, giving back is what you're supposed to do anyway.
Are you getting a lot of people that want to volunteer to come out and help give out the food, or is that kind of?
Yeah, I mean, there is on the website, hopeforthecity.tv. You can get on there. You can donate to the cause. You can sign up. And if you are shut in, you can also click on that link and we will bring food to you. So a lot of, the elderly and, inefficient, we bring the food out to them. So we've got volunteers everywhere, and there are more and more showing up as the weeks go on. I think because people are more and more comfortable, getting out and being with other people, but, giving back and helping out. And so, when we first started this, we were popping up, we didn't have enough volunteers, because you're going through, even at the smallest sites, you're doing 300 to 400 cars and feeding 300 to 400 families, essentially. So, it's great partnership with Cisco, partnership with Nicholas, partnership with Three Square. But Hope for the City, is actually, the volunteer group that's out there 6 days a week feeding the valley.
Well, it's great that you have all these, relationships. But what I love about the mission is you don't discriminate against religion. People are hungry, you're feeding people. And, I love that you said it. This town is very philanthropic. Someone's always giving back for something, right? The next epidemic or next thing that comes up, there's always going to be great people just like you taking care of the city. I mean, we see it every single day. Thank you for doing what you're doing because we know the vision that you have is big.
Well, thank you. It's not just me. It's so many of us out there. And I equate it to, I remember when the very first Golden Knights home game, I was there, I think it was April 10th, 2 years ago. And what they did with the first responders, I mean, I could still, shivers go down my spine. Yeah. I mean, I cried that night. It was bananas. And, I think that if we can bring that kind of hope, to the city and we can let them know that, you're going to get fed, your kids are not going to go to bed hungry, the website has all the pop-up food pantries. You can see where they are, what time. Sometimes there's cars that lined up yesterday or today. I always ask the first couple of cars, what time did you get here? And, today it was 4 a.m. Wow. So they sat there for 4 hours before we even got there to set up. But we're green. I mean, it's pretty amazing. There's some videos where, you can see a time-lapse video, the parking lot's empty. And next thing you know, you see the truck pull up. We're setting everything up. We're starting to bag and box things. You see the cars start coming through. And then, by the time we leave, you couldn't even tell we were there.
Just curiosity, what's standardly in the grocery bag? Is it?
Well, it's kind of like every time the truck pulls up, it's like an episode of Chopped. It's like, I wonder what's going to be in there. Yeah. But it's always, fresh produce. So apples, oranges, bananas. Today we gave out chickens. There's burgers sometimes, pork loins. turkey. I've seen so many different things. I've seen, I've never even known it existed, but, they had these little macaroni and cheese filled pot pies. Oh, yeah. So we've had calzones out there. We've had pizzas. We've had, there's always the staples. Typically, you're going to get eggs. You're going to get milk or juice. There's typically, canned peaches. There's all kinds of stuff. So, you never know what's going to be there, but we're always able to at least assemble, boxes that can go home with the family and feed them for a few days.
It's amazing to think about, man. I'm sitting here considering the families that go through that line and what that must be like. It's got to be extremely rewarding when they drive away and they have that fulfillment.
And that's another thing, we always laugh with the volunteers because after we're set up and we're ready to go, we gather together and kind of do a pre-shift, if you will, who's never done these before. And, the only rule, have fun with each other, have fun with the cars, and it's great because, there's times we'll have, cereal or Pop-Tarts or cookies out there. And anytime a car pulls up with kids, we're always, putting extra in, for the kids. And, that's the saddest thing, when you see, a family of, 6 in a van and they've been waiting 4 hours to get food, there's a need there. Somebody's not going to wait online like that if there wasn't really a need.
I mean, it's something that Derek and I really believe in, and our whole team is giving back. And that we've been talking about it for weeks now. Anybody listening, guys, if there's any way that you can help this cause, this is your chance to really be a part here in Las Vegas. Kelley, you want to tell them about the website where they can go?
Yeah, so hopeforthecity.tv, and on there, you can find out all about Night of Hope. You can find out, again, you can click on a button to have food delivered to you if you can't get out. It'll tell you where all the food pantries are, the times, locations. It'll, show you even the statistics. Week after week, we're updating the statistics on how many, we fed. It's interesting because Central's Food Pantry last year gave out over 800,000 pounds of food. And in 7 weeks, we gave out 3 million pounds of food.
It's a big number,
It's huge, and for the Night of Hope, tell them about, what the date, what time it is, where can they catch Night of Hope?
Night of Hope, you can see it on all the local affiliates, NBC, ABC, CBS, and Fox. It's also going to be on hopeforthecity.tv live streaming also, so people not in Vegas can watch it as well. It's going to be air at 7 p.m. on Saturday, this coming Saturday. So, we're all excited to see it, but it's really going to be a big shout out to Las Vegas, to the first responders, to the medical personnel that are out there, really putting themselves in harm's way every single day. We're giving out food, we've got gloves on, masks, that kind of thing. But at the end of the day, they're the heroes in this whole thing.
I totally am aligned with that, man. The medical, entire industry here has done such a great job of circling up and coming together. It's been a beautiful thing to watch, and that's everywhere. But here in Las Vegas, it's really been special as they've served this community. Talking about the 9th, a lot of cool names that are coming to participate and support Las Vegas. I saw One Republic was on there.
One Republic, yeah.
Lee Bryce. I had the pleasure of doing a fundraiser for Hope Song in Nashville, Tennessee with Lee Bryce. So when I saw his name, I got super excited. I'm excited to see Lee coming to participate and support here in Las Vegas.
And they're still signing on. So even, every day probably on the website, there'll be more names on there, people that have jumped in. I mean, just yesterday we were able to communicate with the president and chief operating officer of the Golden Knights, and within 24 hours they've already had a couple of videos of their players that we're going to tack into the show. So it's really cool. I mean, once you actually get somebody on the phone, there's not anybody that's just said no, I'm not helping.
Yeah.
They're doing something. So we've had a few people that have been like, I'm giving to other organizations. It's like it's great, because there are a lot of organizations out there right now that are, doing more of the prepared meal plans and, making 1,000 meals and distributed those to whether it's the hospitals or, shut-ins or something like that. And, that's necessary as well. We're more giving out bulk food for families to be able to cook.
Taking care of the community that's taken care of us for so many years. 20 some odd years you've been here. This community has taken care of us. I'm sure you've been to the hospital more than one time, being here. So, thank you to all the first the responders. But thank you for what you're doing. I mean, it's not only you, but the mission. You can see how passionate you truly are about cooking. We talked about how you started off, being a chef to line cooks to the big company that you ran and what you're doing now. So, thank you. I mean, because that 3 million pounds of food is a big number, and I'm sure it's going to continue on growing for a long time because, as you're well aware, a lot of things are not going to open up right away, and some of those people are still going to continue to need to be fed.
Well, I mean, even Stations just announced the gradual opening of some of their casinos, and they're some of the biggest food pantry areas. So we've got to figure out other locations. Because once they open, we're not going to be able to use their parking lot. And in the case of Sunset Station, we use their garage. So, we're keeping out of the heat by actually distributing out of the garage.
Well, we can use your house, I was told.
Yeah, we're coming.
Yeah, that's great. My neighbors will love that. The 2 miles of cars, before they wake up in the morning, blocking their driveways. But, all kidding aside, I mean, Kobe, you and I, who knows if we would have ever met had it not been for this. True. Because, when I got a call from another colleague of ours, Jeff Pappas, that they were forming this group and, could I please be involved in it, which became, the COVID-19 response team, doing a lot of the things, that we will continue to do with them. But, when the whole team found out what we were already doing through Hope for the City and Central Church, they jumped right in. And so for the last week and a half, they've been full-time fundraisers for Night of Hope. So thank you guys for that because,
of course,
as I'm starting to think, how do I, drink from this fire hose? They just jumped right in and started to drink it with me.
Yeah, these guys have a tendency to jump in on fundraising. We've already, we've already done like 4 fundraisers just for this year. So, I mean, when something as critical as what's going on now, we're always, very much, a part of it. We love helping. I think that's one of the greatest things that we have in the city is like everyone is so willing to jump in.
And this the response team that this resource team that we've been able to form. I mean, you talk about just a divine intervention with this group. Everybody coming together, and being able to meet and establish relationship quickly, but to respond. I mean, it's been super quick and in action. And then when you guys, from the church perspective, and when Hope for the City stepped in to say, this is what we're doing, we need support. How perfect of a need was it that, we were working to establish the grounds to hopefully, have the same actions take place for us to provide for the residents of Las Vegas. It was too perfect.
Yeah. I mean, God is good, but, we Hope for the City was set up specifically to be a secular organization because a lot of people, they're not going to donate to a church for this. And, I understand that they have their own religious affiliations. But Hope for the City was set up specifically that 100% of all money raised by Night of Hope and Hope for the City is going to food and to feed the Valley. There's no admin costs in there. There's nothing. So that was something that, before I undertook the fundraising role was, that I want to make sure that, we're appealing to everybody in the Valley.
Yeah.
Because we're going to serve everybody in the Valley. Yeah. Ultimately, that's what it comes down to is whoever your neighbor may be, if you're in need or if you know someone in need, send them to these pantries to be supported. That's what we're here for. That's what our mission is. That's what we've been, working. And people, obviously, like Kelley, have been driving to get done to support each and every individual in need. Also, it's no secret. We need support. And so take this as an ask for larger companies that are doing well, any banks or anybody that can support us. There are multiple levels that they can get involved in. Kelley, you want to tell them about the levels?
Sure. So, we're hoping that, we can fill some of our tiers. Presenting sponsorship levels are $250,000 and $100,000. And, if you do it now, one of the things the gets for the give is, 30 seconds or 15 seconds respectively of airtime on the broadcast. But time's running out on that. You have about 48 hours to get that done. But then we have $50,000 tier, $25,000 tier, $5,000 tier, because we believe the night of, that's going to be, the guy that's going to donate $20 or $100, and that's great because every dollar counts. Trust me, we'll take $1 if you wanted to go online and donate that, because it is going, right back into feeding the city. So it's all tax deductible giving. So, we'll have, W-9s and 501c3 forms that we can send to you so that, you have that for your taxes. But yeah, there's 5 tiers of gifting, but, honestly, we'll take anything that you can graciously donate.
And I'll be the one to do it because we always have a very special tactic. I love when Derek gets on and hits Facebook Live and support, but any company out there, the NV Energies, the Coxes of the city, anybody that's standing in leadership, and, you know, we've come together to support, obviously, and service by these companies. This is a call to action for you too. You know, we're looking for support. Please come out and help us.
You're definitely right about NV Energy and Cox, because they kind of, and Southwest Gas, so they kind of have the market on gas, and these people are paying for gas. So it's only right that, you know, big organizations, that they get involved. So, you know, we want to make sure that we get this to all the right people and they get a chance to listen and see really what we're doing, because, you know, I said it earlier and I'll say it again, you know, this hunger doesn't have a face, right? It's you know, it's just the city what people are going through. Doesn't have a political affiliation, doesn't have a church it belongs to, but it belongs to us, and it's our responsibility as people that live in Las Vegas or live in the state to take care of one another. And again, I'm going to say thank you a million times for what you're doing, because Hope for the City is a miracle for the city. So thank you.
Thank you for having me on so that we could spread the word. I mean, there's just that it takes a village, right? I mean, there's Absolutely. A lot of people. In fact, once Hope for the City's done, I don't know what I'm going to do, because this has been a full-time job. You know, Hope for the City and Night of Hope, you know, come Monday, Night of Hope is over. And, you know, so a lot of our fundraising efforts are over. But I'll still have the food pantries to go and get my workout in, because, you know, that's all we're doing, is slinging a lot of boxes.
Well, you're a guy that doesn't, you know, you're 100 miles an hour. So what's next for you is going to be something else that's 100 miles an hour, because you're built like that. So
yeah, absolutely. You know, and it has been really inspiring, you know, to see the people that come out, you know, the people that we're able to help. And it's, you know, really humbling, because, again, we don't know when this is going to be over. I mean, even when we do, you know, reopen, you know, what are they going to hire? 25% of their workforce back? I mean, 75% of, you know, these big casinos' workforce is still going to be out of work. And you know, we gotta do our part and feed them.
That's right, man. We'll get creative. We'll keep pushing. I don't know if the fundraising efforts will stop after the 9th. I'm sure we'll continue to push and look for support. But the 9th is the day. It's the day that hopefully we'll celebrate a big push and being able to, you know, really drive the efforts that we're doing. Kelley, you have any last words for our listeners on who can support?
Anybody can support. In fact, so far our biggest donator is somebody that doesn't even live in Las Vegas, Franco Harris, the famed of Immaculate Reception, which is voted #1 NFL play by ESPN. You know, he lives in Pittsburgh and he has a food company. He just happens to have a friend here in town, Jeff Pappas, who we talked about earlier, and Jeff reached out to him, and he's donated $100,000. So, you know, he doesn't even live here, and maybe it's a dig at the Raiders, because the reception and, in fact, the winning was against the Raiders. So,
Raiders players, if you're listening, please don't let Franco outbid us here in the support of our own city.
That was the Oakland at that time. Now it's the Las Vegas Raiders, but Franco Harris is, you know, like, I'm glad you mentioned that, because we were talking about it. And, you know, again, you know, thank you. You know, that connection and just asking. I told Kobe this all the time. If you don't ask people, they don't know. If people don't know what you do, like right now you're out there raising money for Hope for the City, right? If they don't know it, they won't do it. So that's the reason what this podcast is all about, is getting it out there, because we're asking people, hey, if you donate food, donate time, donate money, just donate, right? And give back to the city that's given all of us, our listeners, us, it's all giving us back so much. So dig in. You know, again, can you just put the website one more time? That way they know, and the phone number maybe to contact.
Well, it's all virtual, so it's hopeforthecity.tv. That's, you can go there, and again, you know, on that website you can request food deliveries, you can donate money, and money is so much more important than food, because we can get food typically a lot cheaper than you know, anybody that's going to donate something that they're paying retail price for. So donate, you know, money. You can also click to volunteer and know where all the different food pantries out. So it's hopeforthecity.tv.
Well, guys, I tell you,
hopeforthecity.tv, hopeforthecity.tv. Click,
press the button,
donate.
Hey, if nothing else, go online and look at the videos to see the very real need and how long these cars are.
I tell you, if you watch the videos on that website, it'll move everything. It makes it real immediately. When I watch them, it's super inspiring.
It hurts me, the kids.
It's tough, man. Honestly, it's like you said, you know, a car 6 people deep waiting 4 hours just to hope for their next meal. So, you know, guys, please reach out and help us. I will say, I do appreciate you listening in. Living Large Las Vegas, coming to you in a very different way this time, asking for support, help our city, help our residents, reach out to Hope for the City. And if anything, tune in. Coming up on the 9th, 7 p.m., reach out. Let's check it out together and see how we can band together to come out of this thing strong. Thanks again, crew.